Now. Yeah, he's gonna give me a signal the minute they walk through the door. So who's gonna? No, I want to know. Thank you. Let's give them a nice round of applause. We want to get the place a little bit hotter for you. And I've been observing, you guys are making the policeman to be dancing all on his own. Can we, ladies and gentlemen, be on our feet as we welcome our dignitaries, the Deputy Minister and the entourage? No, ons kan seker nou beter klap, man. Huh? It's fading. It needs the last woman, man. There we go. Thank you very much. We can be seated. As I indicated earlier, we are now being joined by the Deputy Minister of the National Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, Honorable Sihle Zikalala. Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. I was actually not introducing you, but give him a round of applause. He's been joined by the chairperson of the CIDB board. Am I correct? I'm not really introducing you, sir. I'm just indicating to this beautiful audience so they know at least who's here with me on the podium. Joining them is the executive mayor of the biggest municipality in the Northern Cape, the Solplaiki local municipality. We have got the representative, also a representative from the district municipality of Francis Part. I hope I haven't left anyone out. So, welcome everyone to the Contractor Development Roadshow. This is an initiative by the National Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. And this day belongs to you as entrepreneurs in the construction industry. I'm saying entrepreneurs, and I hope we are addressing the correct audience. We also would want to welcome the different stakeholders that made this day possible. With Public Works and Infrastructure, you have CIDB, you have a whole lot of stakeholders. I think I must just do justice and acknowledge the different stakeholders. The Salt Lake Municipality, the Department of Economic Development and Tourism in the Northern Cape, the SANRAL, and SANRAL is amongst us. We'll be making some presentation later during the day. We've got the Council for the Built Environment, the National Home Builders Registration Council, we call it the NHBRC. I suspect there might be some entrepreneurs in the built industry or built environment that might not even know, Deputy Minister, what the NHBRC as an acronym stands for. So I'm trying to make life easy for all of us here. We have got stakeholders like APSA, the SIOC, Standard Bank, Nedbank, the Bargaining Council for the Civil Engineering Industry, the IDT, America TUSA Trust Fund, the Agreement South Africa, and so on. And I see, okay, there is the SACP-CMP, there's the District Municipality of Francis Bart. We will acknowledge those that are still joining us as they arrive, but I want to believe that we've got everyone seated in this hall that needed to have been here by 8:30 this morning. So like I indicated, I will be directing the program. I won't be talking a lot. There will be different speakers for the day. Now, before we officially start with the program, allow me to invite the SAPS band to lead us with the national anthem. And as adults and responsible citizens of this beautiful country, we all know the protocols that goes with the national anthem. We will all be on our feet with male colleagues with nothing on their heads, and we all should know that when we sing the national anthem, guys, even if there's a fly that gets into your ear, you don't move. So can we be on our feet and get the national anthem from the SAPS band? Thank you. We may be seated. As we welcome Councillor Shushu, representing the Executive Mayor, to give us a word of welcome. I guess I have to remind this beautiful audience every time we get a speaker on the podium that we welcome them with a round of applause. And after they've addressed us, we thank them with a nice round of applause.
Thank you, Program Director. Deputy Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Ndate Sihle Zikalala. Northern Cape MEC of Roads and Public Works, Me Fufe Makato. Northern Cape MEC for Agriculture and Environment Affairs, Rural Development and Land Reform in absentia, Me Mase Monapole. Chairperson of the Northern Cape House of Traditional and Khoisan Leadership, Khosi Pilinomi Toto. The Executive Mayor of Solblaki Municipality, Me Barbara Bartlett. Honorable Mayor of Magareng Municipality, Me Mase. The Mayor of Pokwane Local Municipality, Ndate Arams. The Speaker of Magareng, Tata Sikbonile, Jongile. The DG of the Northern Cape, Datu Peke Peke. HODs, the board member, Chairperson, Deni Ndate, Deni Musimani, the Chief Executive Officer of CIDB, Ndate Bongane Dlala, distinguished guests, senior officials, industry stakeholders, media, and all those that I have not recognized, good morning. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you all. It gives me a great pleasure to open this day of Contractor Development Roadshow program hosted by the Public Works and Infrastructure under inspiring theme, Building Business, Building South Africa. This theme reminds us building a successful, sustainable business is not only about profit and growth, but also contributing to the greater good of our country. Every brick that has laid, every project completed, every opportunity created helps to a stronger community, create jobs, and uplifts communities. Today, this program is about empowerment. It is about providing our contractors, especially our small emerging businesses, with the tools, knowledge, opportunities that they need to strive in a competitive industry. It is about opening doors to skills development, compliance, support and access to markets and partnership that will enable to business not only to survive, but to grow and succeed. We gather here because we recognize contractors are not just service providers, but also nation builders. Through your hands, schools are constructed, hospitals are renovated, roads are built, and infrastructure is maintained. You are the heart of development, and growth directly translates into South Africa's growth. The department commitment is clear: to support and to capacitate and to ensure that transformation in the construction sector, it is meaningful and it is inclusive. In closing, I encourage all participants to engage fully, ask questions, network, and take advantage of this wealth of knowledge that will be shared today. This is your platform. Make the most of it. Let us remember that we build a sustainable business. We are also building a sustainable livelihoods, stronger communities, and ultimately a better South Africa. With those words, once again, I welcome you all and I declare this program officially open. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Shushu, for the warm welcome. I guess we are being invited, all of us, to relax. You sit back, relax, and ensure that you have got an open mind that will enable you to absorb from this moment henceforth. So, thank you for the warm welcome. Colleagues, as we move with our program, Councillor, hello, program. Thank you very much. So at this point, I'm going to invite Mr. Denny Masimene, who is the CIDB board member, to unpack the masterclass for us. You should have seen on your program. Our programs are loaded on this barcode. We are all entrepreneurs seated in this room. So if you haven't seen the program as yet, just scan the barcode to have access to the program. Okay. Scan the barcode. You'll realize on the program that the sessions are for 3 masterclasses. He's going to unpack and explain to you how all that is going to unfold. Ntate.
Good morning. Thank you, Program Director and the MEC of Roads and Public Works, Mayor Makatong. We've been welcomed. I think we can now relax, feel at home, even if I have to say it myself, not coming from this province, but by virtue of me being a certified citizen of the Republic of South Africa, I think I also have the authority to welcome you and request you to feel at home. And indeed, it looks like a construction roadshow. I can see with the PPE that we are wearing. Unfortunately, I could not see the yellow plant outside. But when we showcase our capability and our capacity, we have to bring all those things so that we can demonstrate that as entrepreneurs in the construction sector, in the Northern Cape, we do have the capacity to execute projects. We don't have to borrow from other provinces, like the province where I come from, which is Limpopo, which is the first province where CIDB was piloted. And I have to indicate that even up to today, almost finishing my term, my second term as a board member of the CIDB, I still have to receive the report, the pilot report. Because when you pilot, you are testing. You need to say, now that I've tested, now came up with 1, 2, 3. But be that it may, I think it is important that from the CIDB that we have seen in the early 2000s, compared to the CIDB that we have seen today, even if I have to say it myself, we have done much progress just to make sure that the regulations that are there are linked towards transformation and empowerment of our black people, in particular women, youth, and people of disabilities. Program Director, I'm scripted. Before I offer him too much, let me bring myself back and acknowledge the protocol. First, let me acknowledge the Deputy Minister, Honorable Sihle Zikalala, DPW DDG, Meluyanda Kafile, the CIDB, or the CEO of CIDB, Mr. Bongani Dada, the Executive Mayor of Solplaki Municipality, Ms. Barbara Ballet, the MEC who's also a Program Director, Mefufe Makatong, government colleagues, industry partners, contractors, entrepreneurs, honorable guests, and I've seen we are having in the majority the SAWIC. And they are wearing different colors. And I know that is not by choice. It is by faction, which I'm going to help, to unite the SAWIC. I'm going to have a caucus with them so that we can have one SAWIC. The divided SAWIC means the divided construction sector in the Republic. And the fragmentation serves us no good, and no one is benefiting out of it. I thought it is important that I make that remark. I am honored to join you here in Kimberley. I've been in this province several times in my various official capacity, and also in my other capacity as a contractor. I've done one of the projects here in Kimberley, if not two. So we are meeting here during the September month, which is the Heritage Month, a time when we not only celebrate South Africa's rich history, but we also reflect on the legacy we are building together. Kimberley, with its own heritage, stands as a powerful symbol of the potential that arises when vision, opportunity, hard work intersect. Just as diamonds are discovered through careful excavation, so too are opportunities uncovered through perseverance, innovation, and collaboration. For some of us who are coming outside this province, we all knew Kimberley as a town that is rich in mineral, and one mineral in particular, which is the diamond. But when you enter this town, you expect to see the sweat and the fruits of those diamonds. But unfortunately, those diamonds have been shipped out of the country, raw as they are. And if we are serious about job creation and industrialization through UDM as a lawmaker, it is important that very soon and very quick we come up with a law that will define beneficiation. And where I'm speaking is that for those who are already mining, so that we don't disturb their supply chain, is that 80% of these minerals must be processed here before they leave the country. And that is the only way we can benefit, and then we have the tools, but we just don't want to use the tools. And for the startups, is that 100% of the minerals must be processed here, so that when other countries, they are bargaining with their tariffs, we are able to bargain back and say, with our minerals, we want to match your tariffs, which is either 50% or 35%. I think it is important that we do that. And this must start in this industry, where we are buying a lot of our materials from India and China. There is nothing wrong, they are part of the BRICS. But what we want is that all this material that we are buying has to be processed and manufactured here in this country, so that we can create those jobs that we really need. Colleagues, it is a privilege to me to open the Northern Cape National Contractor Development Roadshow. This platform brings government, industry, and contractors together to advance empowerment, strengthen business, promote inclusive growth in the construction sector, and your presence here demonstrate a shared commitment to developing a construction industry that is both a driver of economic growth and a custodian of our national heritage. Colleagues, I have to indicate that since COVID, as the construction sector, we have not recovered. Since COVID, as the construction sector, we have not recovered. And though the President of the Republic, in one of his SONA, he did indicate that South Africa is going to be a construction site. For us, who are practitioners in the industry, that is still a myth that still has to be realized, because we don't see that construction site yet. What we are seeing, MEC, is the infrastructure budget that is returned to Treasury every financial year. And there is no way that we'll achieve our objective and dream of turning South Africa into a construction site if we are still retaining the budget that is meant for service delivery, the budget that is meant to make sure that South Africa becomes a construction site. And once you return the money, the simple explanation is that you don't know what you are doing. You are in a wrong position. In another language, they say dedela, so that others who are able to do it better can come in. Ladies and gentlemen, this roadshow is more than an event. It is a movement. It is a process. It is where challenges becomes opportunities, where emerging contractors gain practical tools to thrive, and where ideas translate into sustainable business. Today, as the CIDB, we boast about having grade 9 black women-owned construction companies. But it is said to indicate that even though they are in grade 9, most of them have attained those grades through the low-cost housing. But many of them, they still find themselves emerging even though they are in grade 9. The reason for that is that our contractors do not get the requisite financial backup that they require. Just outside, we have Standard Bank as one of the exhibitors. We all know that if you walk into Standard Bank, you want to finance a luxury vehicle of 3 million, within 30 minutes you'll get that approval. But if you want to go to Standard Bank and finance a tipper truck that is worth less than 1 million, they will take you from pillar to post. They will want to know, the color of the hair, the size of the shoes of our great-grandfathers, just to make sure that it's just another way that we cannot help you. And it is important that the financial sector have to look into this, because we cannot grow South Africa alone. We need to grow South Africa with a financial sector that is transformed and that is biased, towards our history, where we come from. We know that almost everyone in this room did not inherit any trust. So whatever we have inherited black tax. And unfortunately, that becomes a deterrent in the financial sector or in the loan market. Today, we focus on unlocking all those potentials, but I think as ourselves, we also have to be ready to receive those opportunities. Some of us, we have been calling ourselves contractors or various practitioners by virtue of having a piece of paper which is called a CIPC document, which is always housed in a brown envelope, but we never realize the opportunities. And the reason for that is that the majority of our contractors find themselves in the lower grades, which is grade 1 up to 4, if not 5. But the challenge is that MEC, on your project plans, you have very little, if not 0 projects in those grades. So the challenge is, how then do we expect you in grade 1, 2, and 3 to participate if there are no projects within those thresholds? That is a challenge that we need to address. And we cannot rely on those who are we call the main contractors, because we know that the situation on the ground, they are not even able to decide to whom they subcontract. They are coerced, to subcontract even people or contractors where they have very little say. So it is important that it's either, which is controversial coming from me as a board member, but it's either that we change the rules and the regulations, that there is no need to register as a contractor at CIDB if the project is less than maybe 4. But for us to do that, it requires long legislation. As we celebrate the Heritage Month, let us also reflect on the theme, build your business, build South Africa. This is about leaving a legacy. The construction sector does more than erect buildings. It preserves heritage, connects communities, and enables social upliftment. Every empowered contractor contributes to this legacy by implementing sound governance, enhancing technical skills, embracing inclusive hiring practices. Contractors help create infrastructure that serve, thank you, that serve our communities, create jobs, strengthen our social fabric. Your businesses, your successes, and your projects are part of the heritage we pass to future generations. The CIDB has made important progress. Our register of contractors formalizes participation. In the past, one will wake up today, register a company, and on Monday I tender. So the CIDB, it is one of those good things that has helped the industry. It has helped to regulate the industry, not only for the contractors, but also for the clients. Because even for the clients, when you are adjudicating your tenders, you are able to verify the track record vis-a-vis the CIDB. The CIDB can serve as a vetting platform, for us to verify those track records. And I have to indicate, the journey is long, but let's follow the process. Let's avoid shortcuts. We know those who tend to follow the shortcuts, they buy grades, and I have to warn you that you will be caught and you will be deregistered, and that will be also be followed by a criminal offense. So rather follow the process. The CIDB staff is here to guide you through those processes. The transformation in the construction sector cannot happen in isolation. It requires the coordinated effort of all stakeholders. Government departments must also prioritize procurement processes that empower contractors. I've indicated the financial institutions like Standard Bank that are outside. And as I conclude, before I actually conclude, my call to action is that today is our opportunity to engage, learn, and take tangible steps towards business growth and sectoral impact. The Heritage Month reminds us that the legacies that we create today are the foundations of tomorrow. Every project delivered, every business strengthened, every partnership forged contributes to a construction sector and a South Africa that is inclusive, resilient, and sustainable. And without any further ado, let us live here committed, building business, building communities, building a heritage worth preserving. And remember, opportunities like diamonds must be uncovered, polished, shared. Let this roadshow be your workshop to discover growth and excellence. Thank you, and I look forward to an inspiring, productive day ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Masimini. I think we get the message that there's a need for us to look deeper into unifying SAWIC. And I could hear the audience agreeing to that sentiment. Now, I can assure you, Deputy Minister, here in the Northern Cape, the provincial government of the Northern Cape gets to enjoy when other provinces don't spend on their infrastructure allocations. I cannot remember, and I'm happy the DG of the province is here, that this is one province where we spent our budget. Infrastructure budget gets spent in the Northern Cape. Human settlements, for the past 2 financial years, we got to enjoy additional funding because of the under-expenditure of other provinces. So the Northern Cape deserves a round of applause for that. In roads and public works, the budget for roads maintenance from the National Department of Transport, there has never been a financial year where money was not spent in the Northern Cape. I'm not sure what could lead to under expenditure, DG, when the backlog is this huge in provinces. But let's leave it at that. The CIDB is here to assist us to respond at least adequately to the concerns that are raised by the board. I'm saying the board because these are being raised by a member of the board of the CIDB. That as government, perhaps we'll have to find better ways to try and empower lower gradings. Okay. That there's minimal work for lower grades. I think we got the message. That's what I just wanted to emphasize. I think I need to, okay. Let's welcome that. I think I just also need to indicate that the restrooms, ladies and gentlemen, as you walk or exit out of the main hall, where the display is, where the shade ends, the restrooms are just on your left, where the exhibition starts on the left-hand side. For those that want to relieve themselves, don't look around in the building. We've got the restrooms on that other side. The further details on the masterclass will be provided. The important aspect of the program is for you to leave this roadshow empowered. And those masterclasses are meant to empower contractors. So we'll get to those finer details as we move with the program. At this point, I said I'm not going to talk a lot, isn't it? So, at this point, I just think that I just need to briefly give the Northern Cape perspective. And Deputy Minister, I'm not sure the protocols were never properly established. Allow me to do that now. That as I make my input, I make those acknowledgements also to recognize the Deputy Minister of the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, representatives from the CIDB, the NHBRC, ASA, and all other professional bodies. The DG of the province, HODs of departments, I see the HOD of Roads and Public Works. We've got senior managers from other departments that have joined us also. We have got the executive mayor of Salt Lake, with other mayors of Magareng. We just got an apology now from the mayor of Pokwani. He will be joining us back here. He was with us earlier on, and all other councillors. I think most importantly, I need to greet once more the contractors. This is the lifeblood of the economy of the Northern Cape, isn't it? If we did not, I'm just imagining, if we could have not experienced COVID, for a moment, if you close your eyes, just for 2 seconds and imagine there was no COVID, where would the construction industry be? We also understand the difficulty of the sector to pick up at the necessary speed. I think we also understand. Perhaps what we need to work on to correct that we understand is, what do we do, not only as government, but what do we do to strengthen the investment into the built environment, both private and public, where we can get to a point where we don't lament any longer about the stubbornness of the construction industry in trying to pick up and so on. So I think, to give the Northern Cape perspective, Minister, we have got a contractor development program in the Department of Roads and Public Works. There is a contractor development program within the Department of COXTA in the human settlement aspect. But I think people need to understand that contractor development is not just about tenders and projects. It is about empowering local enterprises. It is about transforming the construction industry and ensuring that infrastructure delivery translates into jobs, into skills, and at least it gives people some dignity. So here in the Northern Cape, we are aligning our efforts with the NDP 2030, the Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan, the MTDP, all those policies. We are now working on an infrastructure master plan as a province. We've worked out already what we would want to contribute, or how we would want to contribute towards the jobs plan as the province. And infrastructure development has been identified as one critical aspect to get us to that critical point. So only in roads and public works, when we started with contractor development in 2022, we had about 32 contractors. We call it contractor development, and I will explain to you how we do it. So we entered, the 32 contractors entered the roads development program. From that 32, 30 of them remain active in the industry across the province. In Francisbart, we have about 8 that are active. And when they joined the program, and that sentiment of your great ones, that we need to relook at the empowerment for great ones, here you'll begin to understand, because it cuts them out altogether. It cuts them off. And there's a serious need for us to look into how best to bring everyone on board. So and at that point when they joined the program, we're looking at grade 2s, between grade 2 and grade 4, where we set aside projects in roads and public works. We were bashed by both audit processes and other people for our biasness towards small and contractors. Yes, there has been some serious backlash, but we had to stand our ground, because the intention had to be intentional also, to empower these small contractors. So when you enter the program at grade 2, we've got those that are at grade 7 now, that started with grade 2s. We've got some in other districts. It's a bit slow in ZF, and Pixley for us, because the highest grading that we have from those that we have empowered is about grade 4. Grade 4 CE, because in the main it's on your roads maintenance projects. GB is a bit of a challenge, Minister, because how the budget is structured in the Northern Cape does not really give us much leeway to empower adequately those in the GB. I can just give an example as Roads and Public Works. You should have seen, even by the time you were the minister, we write to National Public Works and Infrastructure on a yearly basis to request funding just to do conditions assessments. Because the equitable share allocation in this province does not get us to that point. So the funding in Roads and Public Works, 97% of the funding in Roads and Public Works is grant funding. Just a small percentage is equitable share. Now, and that is where the GB grading and its empowerment will have to happen when you invest more through that equitable share. Because the conditions of the PRMG for transport infrastructure are very stringent, and there is no way you can empower a GB company through that grant. It's just impossible. We had another intake in 2024 where we opened the program for about 58 contractors in 2024. And Francis Bart grew from 2022, if you look at the numbers, to 2024. Francis Bart alone gave us 25 of the 58 contractors. We had 10 in JTG, about 11 in ZF Mgao districts. This intake, Deputy Minister, reflects a rapid growth, ensuring a strong pipeline of emerging enterprises in the province. It shows clear progress from 32 contractors in 2022 to 88 contractors supported by 2024. And that alone is meant to strengthen our local construction capacity. Now, as Roads and Public Works Department, we are also an implementing agent. Just like National Public Works and Infrastructure is an implementing agent for the national government, we are the implementer of projects for departments in the Northern Cape. We were hoping we will have the MEC of both, of education, health here, because those are in the main the department where we implement most of the projects, and the Department of Health. So as Roads and Public Works, with a spend of 1.82 billion, this department leads in inclusive contracting, Deputy Minister, and it stands at 89.329% to black-owned businesses. And of that, over 82% was for women and youth. Those projects that we implement for the Department of Health's inclusive spend almost near to that of Roads and Public Works, which stands at 98.78 across all three categories. So what we do also is when MECs of these departments table their budget votes, we work out a plan for us already as Roads and Public Works as an implementing department. Because their procurement plans becomes public, isn't it? They become public the minute they table that budget vote. We know already what a department is planning to do. So then we plan also. So no and done, we experience challenges where we don't get these instructions in time. They give instructions, sometimes they withdraw, sometimes it messes our plans. But we are trying our best to be in alignment with departments that we implement projects for. The Department of Education and Agriculture are also showing strong alignment with inclusive spend percentages. They range from 75 to 85%. And these sectors are critical for long-term development, and their procurement choices reflect that we are not just tracking the expenditure, we are tracking transformation. Over 4,000 suppliers have participated in this inclusive economy, and that's more than 4,000 stories of empowerment. So we also sometimes give ourselves time to holistically look at the provincial spend. Premier, when he gets these public platforms, sometimes when he occupies them, he gets to share investment in infrastructure, where we are in terms of implementing projects and so on and so on. And I think our main weakness, DG, as government, is when we don't get to pay these contractors in time for the work that they do. Now, if you provide a service and you have to wait 3-4 months, sometimes 8 months for an invoice to be paid, I am not sure how we expect businesses to survive. We are working on introduce an electronic system where nobody gets an opportunity to manipulate dates of invoices and so on. That when an invoice gets registered today, the 30-day countdown starts at that moment. So we've got a few projects that we've planned for the 25-26 financial year. So we are looking at about 26 major social infrastructure projects, and those are projects we are implementing on behalf of other departments, with an investment of more than 2 billion. We anticipate to at least create 1,500 jobs from these projects. But these jobs will be registered by all of you that get to participate in these processes. So when you get a tender, I don't like this word, but when you get that opportunity to provide a service to government, we also must just face the reality of sometimes the reluctance that we see and experience from contractors. There are some enterprises where you sometimes get a sense this business was created just for purposes of tenders and nothing more. Yeah, you get that sense. There are enterprises where you see dedication. Here in the province, we don't get to experience construction mafia tendencies a lot. But they used to be, where people feel frustrated. Sometimes we call them construction mafia, but sometimes it's enterprises that feel they can't take the pressure of not getting their invoices paid, and they go and they close sites. The best thing to do, when you've signed that contract, and and you see this thing is not going to work for you, at least as a professional business, you should know the processes to follow. That will not embarrass you. That would also not embarrass your client. You would know the processes. But sometimes frustrations and those emotions, they lead us to behaving in certain ways where we sometimes close off sites where we sometimes threaten lives and so on. So we are implementing a few projects for the Department of Education. But what we are saying as Roads and Public Works in the Northern Cape, don't look at us as just an implementing agent. When you interact with us, you must understand that what we are trying to do is not just put up infrastructure. We want you to have a feel, a personal feel for that matter, of what we are doing. So when we build a school, don't look at us as just an entity that is meant to build a school. Look at us as an enabler of an environment where an opportunity is created for learning and teaching to happen. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to draw your emotions to this thing. And that's the point I'm trying to make. So we want to provide, and that's what we really strive for, provide projects where we create an environment that also creates an opportunity for contractors to grow. Across the board, not only for the Department of Education, across the board. Now with our PRMG, that is meant for roads maintenance, there it's CEs. And we must indicate amongst our contractor development beneficiaries, in the main, it's CEs because that is the bigger portion of our budget structure. So when you are a GB, we are not saying we don't have work for you in roads and public works. What we are saying perhaps what we should be doing now is to think how we remodel the GB aspect in roads and public works. Government has got a lot of unused buildings. We have gone throughout this province, Deputy Minister, and engaged each and every municipality in the province, where we presented these opportunities. And we said to municipalities, here are government buildings. You guys must indicate to us as per your IDPs where your needs are. If you don't, we are going to go out there and make it available to the public, including businesses. Now there's this technicality in our financial management regulations. Solicit bidding, saying, Dr. McKay? Is, huh? Died. Where it becomes difficult for you to say to Public Works on your own as an enterprise, I'm interested in this building, and then you get the building. Now you have to go through, no, it has to be a competitive bidding process. Everyone must get an opportunity. Well, we will follow that process. But we are saying we will be making these buildings available for everyone now, for people to show interest. Even if a building has to be used to run a business, why should it be difficult for such a building to be given to someone? So, Chancin Nepile, a community organization of some sort, which we know their sustainability is another story. But we'll get to that point at the right time. So I just thought to briefly just share what the roadshow, what we are doing in the Northern Cape in terms of contractor development. There's a lot that the Department of Economic Development and Tourism does. We've got the NEF blended funding that will be making a presentation later. There are stalls outside of the different stakeholders where we showcase, as a province, opportunities that are there for enterprises. So I think, just to be specific and to mention a few, as the Northern Cape, we are and have consciously taken that decision to intensify the interest in the energy infrastructure. We are told by different studies that the Northern Cape will be the next solar or renewable energy hub. Where are emerging entrepreneurs in the space? How do they participate? Emerging enterprises, their role in the energy sector can't just be to go and transport those workers to the solar farms. And the solar panels are being cleaned by people from Spain. Cleaning, okay, installation is another story. Cleaning all of the solar panels. Even the wind turbines, just to stop them for a few seconds and clean them, DG, a company must come from the Western Cape to do that. But we are saying as a province, these are opportunities where we really need to see how best then to empower ourselves to take advantage of these things. I think the mining industry is doing quite well, but there's a lot more they can do. We've seen minimal interruptions in the mining houses operations now by businesses. I want to believe, I might be wrong, I want to believe that perhaps there is that interaction where people understand one another now on how then best to use these opportunities. Municipalities, when we say, just when you mention municipalities, people are losing hope. But no, it's not yet lost, not at all. I think the message we are getting from these gestures and the sounds suggests that there's a lot that needs to be done in that space. The Premier, in one of the EXCO meetings, he said it out loud. You know, he could not understand DG. The Department of Water and Sanitation makes a presentation and says to EXCO, the water reliability probabilities in some municipalities are below normal levels. So we expect the probabilities of the availability of water to be at least more than 90%, at least more than 90% in a municipality. And one municipality's records shows 80%. Do we know what that means? It means the availability prospects for water to be clean, running water to be available in that municipality is just 80%. That's what it means. And if it gets to 80%, there are businesses running in that municipality. Then it means there will be times in the life of that municipality where there will be no water. That 20% might mean no or inadequate. Yes, that's what it means. So there will be a time where it might mean that there's something to be done with the 20%. And if there are businesses running in a municipality and there's no water availability to the levels of about 20%, that person running a business when they get into the office in the morning and there's no water, or water, there's no pressure, Yamiti, people will have to go back to their houses and close offices. And do we understand what it means to a business not to operate for that day? And those are the issues that we are raising. Even us as an implementing agent, when we implement projects, we expect contractors to understand that when you are given a period to conclude a project, we say to you 6 months, and we don't conclude in 6 months, you must know there's going to be overruns here. Somebody must pay for something they did not budget for. And it's always not the contractor. Always not the contractor. There will come a time where contractors will have to take accountability. Okay, if there are no issues about invoices and their payments and everything, and you still cannot deliver in time, you'll have to take accountability. There are those guarantees that we sign, isn't it? Yeah, but sometimes they go beyond these guarantees. So I think, in brief, that was what we thought as Roads and Public Works, just to share with the roadshow and to commit ourselves further, DM, as our payoff line says, as Roads and Public Works, we want to continue to be the trendsetters in the delivery of infrastructure in the province. If we are given the necessary support, the adequate capacity that we need, I think we can do wonders as Roads and Public Works. Of who, Dr. McKay? Okay, that was the story from Roads and Public Works. Thank you very much. I am now, I think I must request a loosening up kind of arrangement from SAPS. What do you guys think? SAPS? But this time around, Akhabayo. Bambatletsi National Anthem. Okay. Okay. No issues. So, allow me then, ladies and gentlemen, to prepare the roadshow to welcome the Deputy Minister of Roads and Public Works, Honorable Sihle Zikalala. Minister, just hang on a minute for me. I want to introduce the minister. Malik me yeles so asta. People must know, I'm not going to give a biography here, but at least the least they must know, Minister, is that the passion you have for the space within which you operate. We've seen you in the last term. Those of us who know you, even from previous responsibilities, we understand. And this audience needs to understand that it is not by accident that we are gathered here today. It can't be by accident. Look, Runa, I don't know about other provinces. Runa, this is for the first time this is happening for us from side of Public Works and Infrastructure, isn't it? Yes, and I think the Deputy Minister deserves a round of applause for this. But I know that from what Public Works and Infrastructure plans to achieve with this roadshow, and that the Minister will give in detail, what they plan to achieve, I know from where I'm standing with certainty that we will get to experience and live that reality at a given point. So, Minister, we've got Sanral's offices opened in the province now, which we really appreciate. We must also just convey, perhaps we can just request that there at Cabinet, you must thank Minister Greasy for us, for working hard in ensuring that we get the office of Sanral to be opened in Kimberley just for the Northern Cape. So help me welcome the Deputy Minister. Let's all be on our feet and give him a nice round of applause.
Thanks, colleagues. We may be seated. Thanks. We wish to take this opportunity to extend our greetings to all of you who are here today, starting with our program director and the MEC for Roads and Public Works in this beautiful province of Northern Cape, Mayor Fufe Makatong. May I also extend my greetings to the mayor of our municipality, the Solplaki municipality, Mayor Barbara Bartlett. I also wish to acknowledge the presence of the representative of our district, Councillor Shushu, and I'm happy to meet some of those that were with us before in our youth days. Allow me to extend my greetings to the chairperson of the board, the CIDB board, Mr. Nzo, members of the board who are here, the CEO of the CIDB, Mr. Dladla, the DG of the province of Northern Cape, DG in the office of the Premier, Mr. Justice Beke. We're grateful to be with the office of the Premier, and we know the work you are doing, including on infrastructure development in the province. May I also greet the DDG, Public Works, Ms. Kafile, and the entire team from Public Works, HOD of the province, the regional manager of Public Works, the heads of various entities from Sanral, as well as CIDB in the province and all entities. It's a great pleasure to see the presence of SAWIC, the South African Women in Construction and Built Environment. We're grateful that you are with us. We know of your passionate and agility you have about the transformation of this industry. We have various entities, including NEF, Sanral, IDT, Human Settlement, and others. We have descended to the diamond capital of the world, the historic city of Kimberley. We're coming here just 2 months after Minister Montashe, Minister of Minerals and Mining, presented publicly and in the cabinet the strategic mineral strategy which talk about how do we ensure that minerals are used for the full benefit of South Africans. This talk to ensure beneficiation. This talk to ensure sector development of mining subsectors. But this talk to ensure enforcing beneficiation through, among others, subsidizing those key industries and companies that are localizing. But this talk to ensure looking on whether export control through tariff and other means will not be helpful to ensure localization in minerals. In this diamond city, we are aware of challenges that are facing this industry and quite impressed by the hands-on approach of the minister to talk direct to the industry. We are in a town steeped in history that evoke memories of outstanding freedom fighters like Hoshi, Khalishiwe, Solomon Plaki, Francis Bart, and many others. We meet today exactly on a day which marked 30 years since Bantu Steve Biko was killed for fighting for freedom of people of South Africa. Steve Biko once said, as I quote, "Blacks are tired of standing at touchlines to witness the game that they should be playing. They want to do things for themselves and by themselves," close quote. And as we are here today, we are quite aware that small and emerging contractors, women contractors, youth contractors, people with disability are all saying we are tired of standing on touch lines of the construction sector to witness a game that we should be playing. I want to say that loud and clear, because we're not here to lament. We're not here to note challenges, but we're here to respond to challenges and the plight in the construction sector. In various platforms, we have listened and we have taken a view that let us respond in a practical way. And that's why this is not a political platform, but it is a technical platform where we should be equipped with technical skills and approaches to navigate the space. We're all aware that when the president launched the economic recovery and reconstruction plan, he singled out infrastructure as the flywheel for economic recovery. In 2020, we started building infrastructure South Africa. After that, we started building pipeline of projects. We should be mindful that post-2010, construction went down, with big companies getting liquidated. However, we have remained committed to ensure that the industry is scaled up and grow. Since 2022, as government, we have been packaging number of projects to massively impact on infrastructure investment. The MEC did specifically outline per department how much they spend on infrastructure. But the myth that some departments return money to Treasury in Northern Cape is not only wrong, but will be fundamentally flawed because Northern Cape is among those provinces that are front-loading. I know, DG, that working with the Premier, Human Settlement working with Infrastructure South Africa has packaged a number of projects on human settlement that would have been implemented around 5 years and packaged them together, and we are now going out to the market to ensure that we get investors to invest and then we pay them over time. And this is to ensure that the investors invest, we get houses built now and pay them over time. But when they do so, we also attach these transformative imperatives. Said, let there be a set aside for women, for youth, for people who are disabled, for African and black companies as a whole. So work is in place to ensure that even projects that would have been earmarked for 5-10 years to come get implemented now. The Department of Public Works and Infrastructure have already started advertising ERRRP. This program, which is the Integrated Energy Efficient Program, seeks to ensure that in our big facilities, we have an effective way of ensuring that we save in terms of electricity, water, and waste management. We have already issued the first request for proposals, and will continue to ensure that we issue others. We have also, as the MEC was saying, packaged a program called Asset Optimization Strategy, which talk to ring-fencing all government facilities and buildings. Ensure that we invite the private sector to invest and rebuild these. Others will be small buildings that would be used like B&Bs. Others will be buildings that could be used for student accommodation. And others will be big buildings that will be used for different purposes, including commercial. Attached to this is also an imperative of transformation. We're not leaving out transformative imperatives. Just this week, CIDB was part of our delegation to the Cabinet Subcommittee to present about the infrastructure conference that is taking place in November. And in our presentation, we did say one thing that frustrates us as a sector is a lack of implementation of the Public Procurement Act. Because the Public Procurement Act, once regulations are issued, each sphere and organ of government will be able to strictly have set aside for women, youth, people who are disabled, and all other sectors. And this is what we want to push. We've already had a workshop with CIDB and the department that we must start developing our own regulations as the built environment and submit them to Treasury to say, if you are still busy with other sectors, here are our regulations for the implementation of the Public Procurement Act. And that will address all problems, including what the MEC raised, that then when we say let there be set aside, then those who are conducting audit come and say, no, you were not supposed to do this. Once we have those regulations dovetailed from the Public Procurement Act, the wheel will turn. Instead of saying set aside are wrong, department will be audited on whether they are implementing them and implementing them accordingly. So these are strides we're doing together to transform this industry. As a department, we're also concerned that small contractors comes at a level of doing lower skills in the industry. Whether it's bricklaying, painting, plastering, all of those things. We will want to see them coming in design, planning, engineering phases where it matters most. We are discussing, and we will discuss this point when we meet on Thursday and Friday, that government must restructure its approach. Instead of spending more on consultants, we spend more on contractors. This is the approach we would want to see. It will not be a problem for Department of Public Works to have more consultants who are engineers, the architect, landscaping, and all employed in the department, because we will always need them. But contractors are not always needed. You need one there, and the next time you need another contractor in another area. So logically, we do need to procure contractor services. And these are the more services we should be spending on, rather than those that are so involved in consultant, which we can do through insourcing. The Department of Public Works is rolling out what we call regional workshops, where a law maintenance, a day-to-day one, will be done internally through ensuring that we build the capacity in the department. But that will also leverage and create more resources for contractors to do actual construction work. We also call on contractors in their affiliations, in their own organizations, to look more than daily work that comes, or day-to-day work that comes through procurement. It will be good for contractors to begin to look on areas of industrialization. And I have said to ISA, we should do more research on how we industrialize rather than import components in the construction sector. The MEC spoke about energy. It will be good for contractors to look on how we partner with those countries that are advanced in solar manufacturing, but not to import and supply. To start by packaging here, and then the next phase be manufacturing here. So that is the approach we need. It will be good for contractors who are under various affiliations to look on whether warehousing and material supply could not be localized. That includes embracing innovative solutions that are there in the market. And if we localize those, rather than importing or buying from one conglomerate, therefore the economy will circulate. We have many schools to build in Northern Cape. We have many houses to build in Northern Cape. We have strategic programs that are coming in Northern Cape. In 5 years from now, we will not be talking about a green hydrogen that is a pipe dream, because we are already working to ensure that the special economic zone of Boegoebaai is built and anchored on the green hydrogen project. So these are things we must look on, not only as suppliers or constructors, as both suppliers and constructors, but manufacturers of equipment used. As we conclude, this is not just a stakeholder engagement for lamentation. We've invited here PRASA, Public Works and Human Settlement. We've invited here NEF and other financial institutions. It is because the purpose of this engagement is to respond to issues that have been raised before. One, we cannot access opportunities in form of project. We cannot get the funding. Now, we have said, let us bring financial institutions. Let us also bring the department to speak about its own projects that are in Northern Cape. But let's learn from others how SANRAL is navigating the localization approach. So, after this engagement here, we will be breaking into small groups based on our own entities. There will be those who are at a startup level, and they will be mentored around the programs, and that will be led, I believe, specifically by CIDB, looking even on the program called the BUILD program. The BUILD program aims to ensure that we train people on compliance and everything. But there will be also another class that will be dedicated on financial services and all aspects of the built environment. When we come back after lunch, we will then have entities like NEF and SANRAL presenting here so that we all benefit from the presentations of SANRAL, because they will be specific. You know, Mr. Nzo, I expect that you in these entities are more technical. So you become specific in solving a problem. This is a problem. This is how it manifests itself. This is how it will be solved. So SANRAL comes here to say these are opportunities. This is the mechanism we use for small contractors to get these opportunities. At the same time, NEF will come and say, this is the approach we use to fund companies in property and construction. As the department were working on social facilitation to ensure that we deal with social facilitation in ensuring that programs such as BUILD are not implemented as a once-off, but they are sustained and continued. We are already working because SAWIC raised with us. They said to us there was a program called Vukupile. Can you revive that program? We've had sessions to look on how we revive Vukupile in a more impactful way than domesticating it under EPWP. We will want Vukupile to at least be across the Department of Public Works, be embraced in human settlement, and in transport, where small companies will be enrolled together and assisted in training and in getting opportunities. And we are saying one of the challenges that collapsed Vukupile was that we are spending a lot of funding on facilitators and consultants. Let us, when we resuscitate it, go direct and fund more contractors. So these are innovation solutions that we want to see to benefit small contractors throughout the country. And we would want to see this not happening once, but becoming an ongoing intervention. If we will remember what Lillian Ngoyi said, she said, if you can emerge, at least emerge with one. Ours is to ensure that as we are gathered here, at least 10% of people who are here, in the next 3 years from now onward, at least they should be engaged in practical activities in the built environment. And we should then move away from talking for the sake of talking, but be practical on bringing solutions that solve real problems. And be practical about opportunities, including ring-fencing them. And in ring-fencing, it should not be ring-fenced for certain selected few. We should also say the department must audit whether opportunities are given to people at least rotationally for the benefit of all. Thank you, MEC Siabo.
It's fading. It's really fading. Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. I think everyone in this room has got a clear picture of what is about to happen this moment. The Minister, throughout the different processes, emphasizes that they've listened to what has been always raised. And today is the day to intervene and address some of the challenges that were raised. And what we need to do is just get ourselves ready, both emotionally and otherwise, so we can absorb the strategic interventions that are about to be unleashed on all of us here. So everyone that has had issues about the funding and that stuff, today you've got funders here. Huh? I think, Minister, what might also be not interesting to contractors is when every time government gets an opportunity and government emphasizes the need to build its own capacity. Because when government builds its own capacity, what does it mean for the sustenance of these contractors? Some of them rely heavily on those calls to provide codes or the RIPs. Yeah? What do you RIQs? What do you call those things? Okay. Kumaspala ki di RS2. In provincial government, they call you and request a quotation. And sometimes they call you and request a quotation just to go and fit a bulb. And sometimes just fitting that bulb costs more than building the room where the bulb will be fitted. But I'm not saying it's reliance, but that reliance is what keeps businesses going. So as we build the capacity, as we capacitate workshops to be able to do day-to-day maintenance, Deputy Minister, we'll have to find a balance on how to continuously support emerging contractors. So I'm about to conclude my task. And I must share this with you. That I would have loved, Minister, to join one of the sessions. But there are other responsibilities calling upon some of us. So I'm going to be handing you over to the chair of the CIDB board, Mr. Gladla. He will be taking you through the remainder of the program. So I hope by the time these sessions are done, that we see on social media what people would have at least just taken as a take-home from the sessions. I'm inviting you to get those social media platforms abuzz. All of us seated in this room should have, when we got here, we should have interacted with at least the Facebook page of the Department of Roads and Public Works. The least you could do. We at least expect each and every one of you to have interacted with social media platforms of all these stakeholders. The National Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. So where I'll be seated, I'm going to follow all of you and see how you engage those pages. If you don't have them, I'm going to give you a minute now. Take your phone and go on our Facebook page, the Department of Roads and Public Works, Northern Cape, DPWI, and just like the page and share what you are experiencing at this moment, just for a minute. But what we will expect to see more, Minister, is what people would have gotten after those sessions. So we will be observing those pages. As I am submarining now, I think I must thank you guys very much. You've been such a beautiful audience. I think you deserve a round of applause. I will not be coming back to the podium because from here, from my transition, the executive mayor of Salt Lake is going to do the closing remarks, and then the chairperson of the board immediately ascends to the podium. So I won't be coming back. So thank you very much. It was good seeing some of you. I hope I will be seeing more of you. DG, die mensen wil weet wanneer kry hulle die buildings. Yes, I just got a WhatsApp now whilst I was seated there. Let me see, when are you publicizing the buildings? Yeah, that's the message I just got. We will share that also on our social media platforms. Thank you very much. Executive Mayor.
Good morning, or is it still afternoon? I'm not sure, so it's still morning. Good morning to our GM, Sihle Zikalala, our program director, our MEC for Roads and Public Works, our executive mayors, my colleagues, the municipality of Francis Bart's mayor, represented by MMC, Nyameka Shushu, ladies and gentlemen, contractors, partners, and stakeholders. I think for now, it's better for me to get my iPad. Thank you very much. I don't want to say anything, GM, just for you to be here. We are not following the crowds. I followed the crowd, that's why I couldn't see. Now I'm following the sun. So as we come to the close of this impactful session, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who made this event a resounding success. Today's gathering was more than just a roadshow. It is a testament to our shared commitment to economic empowerment, skills development, and inclusive growth. It reaffirmed our belief that by supporting our emerging contractors, particularly SMMEs, women, youth, and previously disadvantaged individuals, we are not just building infrastructure. We are building communities, livelihoods, and a more equitable society. To our contractors, you are the backbone of local development. Through your hands, roads are built, homes are constructed, and dignity is restored. But more than that, through initiatives like this, you are being equipped to become sustainable businessmen, businesswomen, and businesses that can grow, create jobs, and contribute meaningfully to the economy. I urge you to take full advantage of the knowledge shared here today by the previous speakers, especially by the DM and the MEC. Apply it, grow with it, and let it be the foundation upon which you build lasting success. To our partners from the public and private sectors, thank you for your continued support and collaboration. This journey of transformation cannot be walked alone. It requires strategic partnership and a shared vision, something we saw in action here today. As government, we recommit ourselves to create an enabling environment that supports contractor development, ensures fair access to opportunities, and eradicates barriers to entry. We will continue to champion transparency, mentorship, and empowerment in the procurement and implementation of infrastructure projects. In closing, DM, I want to leave you with a simple yet powerful message. Our country's development is not the responsibility of a few. It is the work of many. It's the work of all of us. Each one of us has a role to play. Let us go forward with renewed energy, purpose, and unity. I thank you for your participation, your passion, and your belief in the potential of South Africa. And also, lastly, just to say, that is a commitment that every day, after every 3 months, there will be follow-ups through CIDP. And that DM, we can say here, with pride, with dignity, and a commitment that was made. I thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think we kind of got the marching orders, so I won't be long. The time for talk shows is gone. People want to do and they want action. So this is what's going to happen now. We're going to have master classes here. Unfortunately, we're going to separate you because we want to deal with specific issues. So we want to make this a meaningful exercise. Like the DM has said, you get it in his tone. He's tired of people talking. So the speeches are done. Now it's your time to talk and engage. So what we'll have here in the main hall is grade 1 to 3. They'll be left here in the main hall. We're going to have a session for about an hour where you will be engaging with all those that will be presenting, questions, and if there are any commitments, please note them down. You will see in each desk there's a CIDB notepad and a pen there. So please make it, put it to use so that you are not promised things. You note it down. So when people come back, you say, hey, remember, I actually wrote this down. So grade 1 and 3 will remain. Grade 4 to 6 is behind the stage. I think the entrance is that side. And then grade 6 and above will be at the entrance there as you come in, as you go out on your right. So please, can we separate in those groups and then make sure that we attend those masterclass sessions. And as I've said, they are for you. You will also note that there is a CIDB desk as you go out to your right. Please check your grading there. Any queries that you have again around CIDB, if you have made a submission, those are the people you talk to. And if you have to confront them, confront them. If you have to shout, shout. You make sure that we fix your problem. So they are right as you go out on the right-hand side. Then following the master classes, please, I would urge you to please come back and attend, as we will be listening to Sandral presenting on the pipeline of projects. And that presentation will be done by Mr. Emile Duprier, who's the provincial head for Sandral. He will be telling us what projects are coming up and what opportunities lie. Following him would be Mr. Tandile Makwabe, who will then talk about the transformation at Sandral and their initiatives. After that, we will talk about SMME funding, and that will be Kagiso Manake, regional investment from NEF. Following that will be SMME infrastructure maintenance opportunities presented by the DPWI regional manager. And then you will be allowed a question and answer session back here in the main hall for everyone to attend. And then you can clear up your opportunities that you seek to undertake and any other questions that you may have on those presentations. And then we will close the day following that, where we'll have our CEO from CIDB. So please, ladies and gentlemen, let's make this a meaningful exercise. As we have heard, there'll be follow-up sessions in the next 4 months. So let's take this opportunity and make this one meaningful. Thank you. Please, if you